Pound.
In a world,
Shut the hell up.
where Carolina Panthers fans
Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
have an insatiable thirst
I need to see a lot more of that shit going forward.
for Panthers news and opinions.
All my C3 brethren from the C3 Legion.
Only one podcast roars ferociously.
The longest running Panthers podcast on the internet.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, Greg, I owe y'all $100, man.
Deontae Johnson traded. Is it a sign that the Carolina Panthers have endorsed a fire sale? Tonight's show, Andy versus Bryce, as the Panthers sell for the right price. Well done, Cody. Well,
Yeah, what up? What up?
Fun. You know what? It's miserable time as a Panther fan. Wonderful time to hang out at the C3 Panthers podcast with my brothers. Tonight, we'll talk about the Diontae Johnson trade, the Carolina Panthers facing the New Orleans Saints, and can AI fix the Carolina Panthers is a question I want to ask the universe. Maybe we'll do a little exercise later in trying to fix the Carolina Panthers and even make the owner, the GM, the head coach almost irrelevant, hopefully, using ChatGPT. I don't know. Maybe we'll try it. My name's Tony Dunn. It's the longest running Panthers podcast. The C3 Panthers podcast. We're live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the show. Cody Lack, my wheel man, always good to hang with you.
Tony Dunn, I assure you, I am a real human being. And all of these beautiful chat members interacting with the C3 Panthers podcast are all real people. They are members of the C3 Legion. They are not Chat GPT. And listen, man, this is the best part of being a Panthers fan. Being able to do this C3 Panthers podcast with my brothers, with the C3 Legion. Listen, man, Deontae Johnson has been traded. We're going to talk about the compensation that we got for him, whether or not Deontae Johnson was a locker room cancer. Those are the rumors starting to swirl too. There's some fuel behind that fire. And listen, we're going to talk about other potential trade candidates before the deadline and preview this matchup with the New Orleans Saints that your boy will be at. So if you see me, say hello. Yeah, man. But Tony Dunn, you know that we would never do this without the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know him and love him. It's Antonio McClellan. Hey, you Link, the brand ambassador, Diesel Skills. What's up, brother? My man Kyle, Charlotte Sports 1, C3, Kobe Griffin. What's up, brother? Girth Brooks, that man's girthy out here. What's up? Justin K, Kristen Butler, our man Mr. Strats, our man D Money, and the one, the only Panther Pickle, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number is 252-228-5098. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers, the trade, moving Diontae Johnson to the Baltimore Ravens, the compensation, the trade movement that we'll see, what the Panthers gave up. Don't forget the Panthers traded for Diontae Johnson. Now they trade him away. Is that compensation worthy? Boy, I tell you what, weren't we fucking stupid and thinking third, second. Come on, folks. You ain't getting jack. Somehow I looked at Twitter today, CK, and there are players that are supposedly rated good on the Carolina Panthers, and two of them on the defense, despite me not seeing any good players at all on this team, but we'll figure that out. CK, good to see you. The voice that makes a voice. How you doing, my friend?
Oh man, I'd love to be telling you that I'm better, and that things are all hunky dory. But in all honesty, this has been been a trying time, and I'd been saying it for a minute that we're in the middle of a necessary fire sale, and I think that this just shows a commitment to rebuild, regardless of what you think of the compensation. There's a reason that Diontae Johnson's not here anymore, and that we only got what we got for him. And it probably has way more to do with the fact that Diontae Johnson only has a half a year left on his contract. The Panthers don't have much leverage in that. And Diontae Johnson isn't considered a top 15 wide receiver in the league right now. He's going to be paired as a number 2 wide receiver there behind Zay Flowers, and I think he's going to flourish in that position. But to pretend like a number 2 wide receiver that really hasn't shown the league that he's, a top tier number 2 is going to garner anything other than what we got is naive. And so I'm just here to tell everybody, bring everybody back down to earth. You can sit there and crap on Dan Morgan. You can crap on this organization. Sure. And we're a bad organization right now. But I'm telling you right now, don't put the cart before the horse. Stop putting yourself in a position where you're talking about things that we have no idea what's going on the back end of things and how it's ultimately going to turn out. This is a new regime. This is the first full season that they're going to have in the first full off season. You have to trust the process. Let them do what they've got to do. And they understood that Deontae Johnson wasn't going to be here next year.
Amen. Amen. Another complete example, I think, as I've learned from doing this podcast, is that we get in the echo chamber of being Panther fans.
Yeah.
And we always think that what we have is better than what it is, and that we're better than what we think and we're worse than we think. Is that we have to remember is that our expectations might not be reality when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Again, thumbs up, subscribe. You know what to do. Cody, Lack, let's get in tonight's show. Kudos for a great title. Andy versus Bryce as Panthers sell for the right price. Well done, my friend.
Yeah, man, I got to do the best I can for the C3 Legion. But listen, let's jump into the show today. Tony, this is sort of the conversation that we're having. And that's, are the Carolina Panthers getting enough value in all these trades that we end up having going down? Because everyone says that we end up taking the raw end of these deals. And yet here we are again. The team has traded wide receiver Diontae Johnson and a 6th-round pick to the Baltimore Ravens for a 5th-round pick. The 28-year-old Johnson led the Panthers in receiving through 7 games with 30 catches for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did not play last week against the Broncos because of an oblique issue. Oh,
I thought it was an ankle. I thought it was a knee. I thought it was a hip. I thought it was a shoulder. It's oblique.
That's the thing, Tony. When they asked Dave Canales about Diontae Johnson and his injury and whether or not they would be benching him in order to preserve a trade value, Dave Canales literally said, "That's a question for Dan Morgan." Which my initial
won't hurt at all.
My initial thought is, I wonder if there's even a little bit of beef between the coaching staff and the front office as to what to do going forward. Some more details behind this. The Ravens, as others have reported, are sending the 2025 5th pick to the Carolina Panthers for Deontae Johnson and the 2025 6th-round pick. Now, this is the kicker, Tony, and this is where a lot of people are really upset. The Panthers are paying down some of his salary. Okay. So the Ravens will owe him about $625K the rest of the year. Joe Person adds on, that means that the Panthers are paying nearly $3 million of Deontae Johnson's salary the rest of the year, plus sent a pick along to Baltimore. Dave Canales and Dan Morgan and company were clearly wanting him gone. And just to tell you what we're dealing with trade value-wise, so with the pick swap and factoring in the 8 compensatory picks at the end of the 5th round, the Panthers are moving up approximately 18 spots based on where things stand today. A lot of fans are pissed. They feel like we didn't get enough value. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people felt like we could get more, but also the fact that we had to send them a 6th-round pick. Why are we even having to send them stuff? And we're still agreeing to pay more of the contract than we had to. This sort of symbols that they wanted him out the door. That he had given answers that were sort of like hinting that he wanted out. I'll play a clip here in a minute. But boys, what do we make of this trade? Did the Baltimore Ravens drag us over hot coals?
No. If there was a better, I talked about this with Brian Burns. Like, if there was an option to get more, we would have gotten more. If you believe for a second that we had any leverage here, like, you are out of your mind. You can talk about it all you want. You can. Like, there is he is not going to be up there and be the primary target for Lamar Jackson. Let's be real about it.
Well, he
is
might
gonna
actually now. Because
what is Zay Flowers hurt?
No, I just think he might be better than they're historically bad at wide receiver. Did you see the Bates play where the sun got in his eyes and the ball hit him in the face?
Oh, you mean just like Leggett?
Yeah, I mean, I know, but I don't think that it's like he's a number two, a bunch of number twos, maybe. He's probably immediately the best. We're close to it, but continue because I actually agree with you on all this.
So my entire point is the exact same point that I had with Brian Burns. If we had a suitor that was willing to pay more, we would have gotten them to pay more. The thought that they got 5 offers and they said this one was the best one and it wasn't as good of a deal, you're absolutely out of your mind. Like if you're thinking about that from a logical standpoint, if you don't think for a second that we got a call from the Ravens and we got a call from Kansas City and we got a call from, whoever else you want to throw into the mix, the Browns, right? If we got a call from all of these people, you don't think that what's going to happen is we're going to get the offer from the Ravens and what we're going to do is we're like, hold on, let me call up the Browns. Hey, this is what I'm getting an offer from the Ravens. If you want to match it or be better, if you want to, can you do something better? If you're not thinking that they're doing that, you have I can't even express how illogical it is to believe that we had a better option. Same thing with the Brian Burns trade. Like I've been saying it from the get-go. Everybody's saying we've been raked over the hot coals. So far, Dan Morgan won that Brian Burns trade. Sorry to tell you, folks. He has won that trade. And nobody wants to admit it, but from what Dan Morgan inherited, he has made the decisions
What
that
were the
need to be made.
details of that again?
We got a 2nd-round pick.
Okay.
For Brian Burns, which he then turned into another 2nd-round pick for the Rams next year. So we got technically 2 2nd-round picks, and one of those 2nd-round picks turned into Jonathan Brooks, which I know we don't really know 100% how that's going to play out yet. But as of right now,
but yeah, I'm with you.
I'm just saying, like right now, this mindset. We are a bad team, guys. Like you can talk about, I'm frustrated about getting rid of Deontae Johnson and all that stuff.
We have a weak leverage,
right? We didn't. We had no leverage. It's not like, again, we're not talking about a superstar, right? Who's
been balling out necessarily. He's looked good to us because he's the best thing on a terrible team.
Right. He's been the best. It's again, he's a 7 surrounded by a group of 5s, right?
Remember when you go to the bar and you got the beer goggles on? And
Exactly. And so this outrage that we got, it's not something that's a reasonable thought. Because I can tell you, if there were better options, we would have given the better we would have taken the better options. This was the only option. And if you want to be we were already a bad team even with him playing, right? We have so many holes, and we're not going to sign. We were not going to sign him again.
That's the most important. Like I've been saying this for weeks. CK is that you pay him or you trade him, and this is an example of I don't care what these bullshit. I think Sheena said it. ESPN picked up on it. It's like Diontae. It said he would be interested in coming back. Bullshit. Why would anyone want money?
By the way, he never chose to come here. So how about this? We traded for a wide receiver that we're now trading away to a different team. Yeah. And by the way, right now it looks like Deontae Johnson is a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's gotten a couple interceptions this year.
He was a starter for us when he was healthy.
I know, but the point is that it was supposed to be a starter for a starter.
Yeah, we got
and now essentially, but not anymore.
Relevant, and we're irrelevant.
Now you're talking about just a 5th-round pick for.
But they're relevant.
They're
relevant.
They're right, relevant. But you're not understanding me. The Steelers got better value in that trade because they have a starting player, and all the Panthers have is a 5th-round pick.
But look, what you're saying is they wouldn't have had a better value player had Diontae Johnson come to a team and we've been relevant. And the problem is the Panthers, this has nothing to do with Diontae Johnson and that trade of his, if it's a win or a loss. The Carolina Panthers are a complete mess. So you can say they got a starter and it sounds cool on a team that matters at the moment. We got a starter And we're on a team that doesn't matter. So what do? You sign or you trade. And my only thing I want to say on this is I ain't got no problem with the Panthers paying the money. But look,
I agree.
You have no leverage.
Year,
you have no leverage in this situation. You are a team that is spiraling the toilet. You don't get to sell things at the price it's like selling something at a yard sale. One time I went to a yard sale and I picked up this vase, and that lady says, "Oh, that's a blah, blah, blah vase, and it's worth $350. I said, "Oh, this is a yard sale." Like, sorry, I don't care what the name is. We're at a yard sale. Motherfuckers over there talking you down for keychains over here. Bro, like, hey, I'll just put the vase down. I don't need a vase, number one. And I don't care what the real theoretical value is. The value is where are you selling at, when you selling it at, and who has the leverage in that negotiation. The Carolina Panthers paid that money this year because guess what? We got to spend that money anyway this year in a sense.
Yeah, I mean,
it's this year's cap. Fuck it.
And if you ask me, the way I look at this, we're not going to be buyers in the free agency next year, except for maybe a quarterback if you're really wanting to try to go that route.
It doesn't hurt us either, CK, because it's all burnt this year. The cap's going to reset.
I'm telling you what's about to happen in my mind is we're going to be starting to sell some pieces. We're going to look at this draft to try to rebuild some key parts of this defense, maybe some pieces of the offense. And I think they're going to save as much money in free agency as they possibly can to have maybe a better year the following year when there's a potential chance for us to compete. So I think that what we're looking at is we're looking at the potential of making some big moves in a year and a half when that free agency hits in 2026. And then that's hoping that we've hit on some draft picks this upcoming draft.
And again, I know no one wants to hear this, but you're going to have to solve the quarterback problem at some point, unless by some miracle Bryce shows you some development before the end of this year that makes you think you want to continue to build around him. But that's a long shot at this point. Listen, I'm not too upset about this. Like, I'm really not, because listen, let's be real. So many Panther fans have this inflated value of what our assets are worth.
Yes.
Like, sorry, and we said this the other day on the podcast. Deontae Johnson is without question the number one wide receiver here in Carolina. Almost anywhere else, he's a number two, or some teams even a number three. And that's simply what we're looking at right now. If Devontae Adams only went for a third round and some change or whatever, then why would anyone expect more than this in that trade? I am a believer that Diontae Johnson just flat out didn't want to be here. Sure. And he had made that known to Dan Morgan and to everyone else that he wanted to go to a contender. Now it means going forward, you're not going to have that easy separation that the Panthers have had. And to be honest, he hasn't been the greatest. He has been a good player, but I mean, that we were never going to acquire more than this. And I would rather get something for him than nothing at all and letting him walk away at the end of this season for nothing, like we did Curtis Samuel a few years ago. Yeah.
Well, on top of that, too, as you know, some of the people in the chat have been talking about, we have some guys that we can start to work on getting some actual reps. Coker made the most of his reps last week. And I think
he's made more of any reps out of any Panther wide receiver since Demir Burke.
Right. And so if we can find that these guys that we have, these new young rookie wide receivers turn out to be what we hope they turn out to be, getting rid of Diontae Johnson is going to be an afterthought to everybody in the chat. Right now it feels difficult because of the circumstances surrounding the state of the Panthers. But, I'm saying next year, throughout the rest of this year, I think you're going to start to see some progress made by these players, these young players. You're going to see Liggett continue to improve. You're going to see Coker clearly continue to shine. And that's going to give you guys hope. And you're going to realize that Deontae Johnson was always going to be a bridge.
Who's next? My question to you.
Well, so this is another really good conversation because, listen, we're all talking about trades, and with the right amount of value and what have you. But apparently, according to sources, even though teams have been calling about both J.C. Horn and Chuba Hubbard, there are no plans to trade either of them, and a source said they are not having a fire sale. So we let Johnson out the door, but they seem pretty steadfast right now that they do not want to trade J.C. Horn and that they do not want to trade Chuba Hubbard. And that adds another dynamic to that question. Now that you add those two guys to the mix, those are homegrown talents. Brady Christensen is another homegrown talent who I think most of us have been liking to this point at center. I think another thing that we have to factor into this is Deontae Johnson just wasn't in the plans, and there are other people that the Carolina Panthers intend to play. My question is this wrong? Should the Carolina Panthers be looking to trade both of these guys or even more of these guys?
Get them.
I think you should be anybody who's not young talents that you've just drafted or anything like that. I think they should be there should be a conversation of letting them walk, not only for the benefit of the Panthers in the future, but the benefit of those guys too. Like Adam Thielen deserves to go to a team that is willing to actually that is a competitor, because I mean that dude has been fighting and he has constantly been. He's been a pro's pro at every level that he's played, every team he's played for. Adam Thielen.
Oh,
and
okay.
That dude deserves to be able to chase a championship. And right now at the Carolina Panthers, I mean, he's not going to get that. Like,
trade him right away. Trade him for a 6.
Yeah, get something. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, these guys, Adam Thielen may retire at the end of this year. You never know. Like, dude's getting up there, and it's clear that he's lost a step, right? He's still got some juice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not a good wide receiver, but he has lost a step, and anybody who says otherwise isn't watching him run. But I mean, I'm just my entire thing is you've got to be willing to burn it down. And I know they're saying there's not a burn, they're not burning it down, but this week, if we lose again, I'd be surprised if there isn't a concerted effort to start moving people.
Look, if you listen to this podcast for any period of time, I don't really love either of those two players, Chuba Hubbard or J.C. Horn. And it's not a dislike. How about this? It's not a dislike. Just don't love them. Just don't love them.
It's hard to love anyone on this team.
I know. But all right, so, I mean, there's a background to it too. It's like that year we picked J.C. Horn. I wanted us to pick Justin Fields, and maybe call me petty, but I still want, I wanted that, but I trusted you.
Good story.
I heard you guys say he's the most athletic, beat balls, blah, blah, blah. We picked him ahead of Surtain, and all the talent in the world we hear, all these things. And look, yes, is he having a good year, a decent year? Certainly. Is he? I would be ready to trade. I would trade Chuba Hubbard before I would trade J.C. Horn, but I also need to know, do the Panthers have the resources and the balls and the gumption or whatever? Are they going to be able to sign J.C. Horn, or are they just going to franchise tag him or 5th-year option him going forward? How about this? Is that I am not walking away and shutting the door to the conversation of trading anybody on this team.
Anyone?
Like anyone. You know what I'm saying? Is like, no, I mean, I think there's people that will not be traded, like Derek Brown, big contract, injury. Yeah. The 2 guards that we signed that have really improved our line. But look, I can understand how J.C. Horn, and we talked about this in the post-game, CK, both of us agree on this, is that, like, look at a defense that is terrible and a cornerback being a prime position and a young player who has supposedly all the assets and this and that, who has been healthy so far this season. He makes the most sense. To me, he makes the sense in investing the money going forward more than a Diontae Johnson, more than a Chuba Hubbard. But things are so terrible right now. It's not like I'm just hanging up the phone if someone calls and asks for J.C. Horn. But given what we have seen for the return for a Diontae Johnson, maybe our expectations of what JC Horn would garner us going forward would be inflated too. So like if you got a fourth for JC Horn, I'm just all right, let's try to pay him and hope it works out maybe. But I'm not opposed to the idea. I think trading Adam Thielen, I think trading Chuba Hubbard is the right move.
I agree. I mean, the Chuba Hubbard and Adam Thielen, those are guys that are, again, we're going to have to start making choices. And we've been making the wrong choices for a long time. And now we just got to make a commitment to do the thing that nobody here wants to actually do. And that is get rid of the people that, that maybe are that are destined for other teams, for lack of a better way to describe it. At the end of the day, if the entire goal is to not have these guys, sign a long-term contract, there's no point in having them be here still.
And we just have to remember that when you are the worst team in the league and you're selling, you don't have the leverage in any deal.
Yeah.
No. So that you're either going to have to pay Chuba top dollar or JC Horn top dollar.
Well, you're not going to get as much in a trade that you want.
Yeah, 1,000%. And again, Tony, I talked about this before. The team is so fucking bad that once it comes time to pay these players, it's like, why are we going to break open the bank for anyone when the team is so bad? It's like, dude, listen, we lost so many defensive players from last year, and our numbers were still terrible. They're about the same as we're going to see here in a minute. So, listen, I'm a fan of JC Horn, but we're not going to pretend like he hasn't been injured the large majority of his time here.
Yeah.
That being said, this year, he is playing great football. And I want to see him continue to play that way. And I do want him to be that shutdown corner of the future, especially if we're going to be talking about adding further defensive players in the draft. Why would you not want to stack that talent that you already have and continue to build? I asked the chat room, should the Carolina Panthers look to trade JC Horn? Right now, no, pay the man is at 58%. So fans are sort of wanting to continue to keep him here.
Or worse, how about this is at least with him, you could just say, and I know this is not like Brian Burns where he was going into his fifth year option and people were really supposedly giving big supposed money for him. You could just say this. We'll trade him potentially if the deal is super sweet. We're going to hope to sign him. At worst case scenario, we'll make him play his fifth year option and see where we go from there. Because in his fifth year option, you can trade him next year.
Right.
So don't forget, guys, then probably we need to do higher lowers on number of players that will be traded for the Carolina Panthers. We're at 1. If I was going to set the higher or lower for players traded before the trade deadline, I think it would be 2.5 for the Carolina Panthers. And if you wanted to, now they don't have this option, but it would be a fun one. But there's probably cooler options if you wanted to play daily fantasy football sports on teams and players that matter. And if you do want to do that and distract yourself from the crap that is the Carolina Panthers, you can go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. There's over $2 billion that have been won by 5 million happy players. Think about this. Aaron Rodgers, Thursday night football, 233.5 passing yards, higher or lower. 1.5 passing touchdowns, higher or lower. I don't want to mess with the Jets at all. Maybe I'll look to CJ Stroud for 225 passing yards, higher or lower. 1.5 rush passing touchdowns. I'm CJ Stroud in this joint if I'm going to underdogfantasy.com and I'm going higher. I will not ever rock with the Jets again. And it's going to take a long time for me to ever bet money or wager, whatever the appropriate term is, on anybody with the Carolina Panthers. Don't forget, that you can do this by downloading the app and using the code C3P to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That is promo code C3P when you download the Underdog app, and you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash easily. Just do higher or lower. You make the call. And I'm like, you know what? I'm rocking with CJ Stroud this week, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm rocking with maybe Garrett Wilson, 62.5 receiving yards.
You rock with CJ Stroud every week, man. That guy's the truth, dude. He is.
All right.
He is.
Good Lord. Oh, nope. I am not finished.
You want me to do it? I've gotten pretty damn good at this.
At the disclaimer?
Yeah.
Can you write this disclaimer?
Dude, I can fucking
Do it.
slam.
Get me out of here.
You must be 18 years of age, 21 years of age in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 years of age in Alabama and New England, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783. Or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NEW York or text HOPE NY to 467-369.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, that was
my
so
God.
good.
Yeah, dude, I told you, bro.
Woo. All right.
There's
What we got?
bad news in this bitch. What's up?
What we got next?
Yeah, man. So another potential. No, as a matter of fact, no. Let's read some of these super chats. One,
Please.
Sean Butler, 25 months. He says one question for Dan Morgan, bro. What the fuck? Lots of people really upset, asking lots of questions. Kelly Dwight Fields with the C3 $5 love bomb said, should Dan draft our next quarterback in this year's drafts and still have the number one selection, or trade for multiple picks?
Thank you for asking the question that will be asked for the next 8 months.
So as of right now, according to ESPN, the Carolina Panthers have a 45% chance.
That's it.
Of owning the number one overall pick, and 91.4% chance to have a top 5 pick, and a 98.9 chance to have a top 10 pick. So
I think that number for the number one pick is low.
Yeah.
Like a good 67%.
Yeah. Dude, you're not wrong. Lots of options.
Can we take the lower on or the higher on
and,
that?
Our boy Mr. Strats says, why would we want to get rid of Horn when we need more like him?
I don't want to get to him, and I think, to be honest, I think Strats is going to be right on this, is that whatever the compensation is for JC Horn will not merit the exchange, particularly with the 5th-year option, particularly with the situation the team is in.
I don't. In addition to that, if he goes, number one, if we go through the process of trading him to a team, he's going to a team that is typically a contender. Odds are, at least, right? And
yeah.
So here's the thing: Deontae Johnson's going to do the same thing. I think the difference between Deontae Johnson and what you have with JC Horn is JC Horn goes to a good team, he's going to look like a superstar.
Yeah.
Just the reality of it is going to be that's going to be the case.
And
right?
the 5th-year option, very important. Deontay Johnson's just hitting the streets next year, or franchise tag. You legitimately have another year with JC Horn.
JC Horn is a very real candidate as a franchise cornerback. I don't think Deontay Johnson, again, and he could prove this to be wrong. And I'm not talking crap about him because we loved him when he was here, and I'm not going to be one of these people who do a heel turn because he's not a Carolina Panther anymore. I really do hope he goes up there and he balls out for the Ravens.
Me too. I like him. Him.
I think the dude's he seems like a genuinely good person, right? And he's not a loud, boisterous, wide receiver.
He's colorful in his own manner. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. But that's what wide receivers do.
Right. He doesn't come across as a diva, at least in my mind. And so, at the end of the day, I think that there is some reasonable, pieces to that I think are worth, admiring about him as he moves on to his next home. But again, I want to just boil this down. I don't think no matter what takes place, I do not believe that he is going to be an answer at like number one wide receiver. I just don't. He's been in the league long enough, no matter what his situation is, where he would have answered that call already. I think I think he will be a very good number two wide receiver. But J.C. Horn is very much a franchise cornerback, and so far in my mind this year and when he's been on the field, which we can talk about his injuries all we want. But this year he's produced and he's been there. Even on a bad defense, he's looked, we can say he looks good because he's on a bad defense, sure. But I think that, you don't get rid of those young core players. A wide receiver in my mind is a little easier, or a number two wide receiver is a little easier to replace than a number one cornerback.
I'm with Mr. Lightning, 45%. Who winning less than us? Good Lord. I know. I mean, I guess they have to factor in there are like 6 teams vying for that, whether it be the Titans, the Patriots, and this and that. But I think it's plus money right now, bro. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't. But listen, the teams that were right around us, they got a W. Except for the Titans.
Hey, man, we're cheering for the Patriots right now. We're cheering for the Titans. We're cheering for the Raiders. We're cheering for a lot of teams. And we can actually cheer for the Panthers and cheer for those other teams to win one more game than us. I'm not really believing the Panthers will ever win a game again in the history of football at this point. Like, I'm just like, I hope they do.
It feels that way.
I hope they do.
It feels that way, man.
I'm not betting on that shit next week.
No, you ain't putting money on it. Let's be real about this.
Holy cow.
Hey, man, let's hear from these fans, dude.
Yes, sir.
The number is 252-228-5098. Have your voice heard on the longest running Panthers podcast in the universe. Let's take some cat calls.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Yo, my C3 family. Shout out to the great Tony Dunn, to the homie Cody Lack, Code Dizzle, to the whole C3 Legion, the C3 family. Shout out to Diesel Skills, Panther Pickle, Shut the Hell Up, Muscles, Marinara, the effing guy. Hey, family. I don't know about y'all. Well, I do know about y'all. A lot of y'all spiraling right now. A lot of y'all upset. A lot of y'all are ticked off. I'm excited. I'm truly, truly excited because I still see the vision in front of us. I refuse to look in the rear view. And I want to give y'all a couple of minutes to talk about what I believe. You see what I'm saying? See, first off, I believe that we're going to continue to see young guys progress and show that they're dogs. I think that we're going to keep seeing other guys just fighting for their job, fighting for their life, like the Ashawn Robinsons and the Shop Total, still trying to leave things on tape. I still believe that guys like Young Coker and Excel can keep progressing and advancing in the manner that they should. I do believe that the more games that go by, Dave Canellis will find his fit in his play calling, and we'll see the offense get better. I do believe that he's going to figure out the plays that make Bryce comfortable and keep this offense moving. I believe that we could finish the season with a 2-game, 3-game winning streak. Hey, if you believe in my Lord like I do, maybe even 4, to give us some kind of hope to build on to the next season. It's not about the win-loss. It's about seeing who improves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. When we came into it, people had a very low ceiling for these Carolina Panthers. They still have a low ceiling for these Carolina Panthers. And that's where some of my surprise come from, the outrage with these Carolina Panthers. But like I also say, I do believe that we can put a product on that field I do believe that we continue to gather the pieces that we need to be successful in the future. I believe that these here skills in this family are going to get good reports, and it's going to be better. I believe that Tony Dunn and his situation, if you know, it's going to get better. Cody's going to reach the goals that he wanted to. Anthony going to graduate from college and move on to do great and better things. Pickle, whatever he wants to do. That's the belief I have in this team and in this family. So at any given time, you just need to talk about the Panthers. You need to talk about what's going on with you. D-Money is here for you. There's going to be a second call because I got to give you an awesome report. But at the end of the day, family, if you ain't with us now, don't.
Yeah, no, I think the hope is always a great way to go. And I think in my mind, I feel like no better hope than to bring my boy in to the mix, the one and only, the true. Hey, Cody, you're muted, by the way.
I think we need a hero.
I think we do too.
Dude, I think I have just the guy.
Tell me.
Whoa, dude.
Holy cow. It's
Dude,
Halloween, folks. Who is this?
He pulled himself out. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Oh man. Dude, yeah, I love D when he makes these calls, man. It's uplifting. I know we all have the bad calls and we have the overreaction sometimes, but man, D, 9 times out of 10 brings that optimism, brings that energy that is uplifting and we all need that from time to time. So I'm thankful that he's a part of this community, and he's one of the OGs, and I think he's gonna always have a big place in this community. So happy he's here, man.
Dude, we love D-Money. And one thing I'll say is just so much of it depends on what type of offense we're going to be able to muster together. Listen, we're going to talk about it here in a minute about who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Some people felt like they saw a little bit of development from Bryce Young. That's really what we're going to have to ask ourselves going forward, especially with right now, Canales has not made any statement on who the starter is going to be. So in a minute, we'll talk about it, and now play some clips of what people are saying about Bryce, and we'll discuss it. Let's take another one, Tony.
All right, we're ready.
Hey guys, another day, another day that's just disappointing after hearing about J.C. Horn and hearing Jim Horn.
All right, next call. Here we go.
Hey guys, another depressing day hearing Jim Rome talk about J.C. Horn on his national show, telling him how he needed to shut up and respect Sean Payton.
Oh God.
Anyways, more of the same. Being a Panthers fan, yes, I do believe the people need to chill out and stop asking, "Are we there yet?" Like some impatient 3-year-olds in the back of the car. However, one thing hit me today, and when I was at work at lunch with some other Panther fans, and I didn't realize this. Did you know that Houston, if you really look at it, lucked into C.J. Stroud and the success they're having, despite having a bad owner? Their owner is not any better than David Tepper. Their owner has some racial stuff, some other things going on. The McNair guy is not highly thought of. However, they lucked into even having the coach they have. You know who they wanted as their coach, and the NFL wouldn't let them do it? It was Josh McCown. They were going to hire Josh McCown as the head coach of the Texans. That's why they ended up with Lovie Smith, and that led to D'Amico Ryans. So, yeah, believe it or not, the Texans, it was all by luck. It's a bad ownership that just lucked out. So that's something we have to at least look at. We say that, well, you say, well, hey, the Texans did so great. Part of it was just luck. They just happened to get the quarterback they couldn't get because Lovie Smith gave the whole fan base the finger at the last second by winning that game. Also, one more thing to think about, and I had not thought of this until my buddy at work brought this up to me. You know, a bad ownership can actually do a lot just by pure luck. Just like we were talking about with the Texans, think about the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls probably have the worst owner in the NBA currently. At least the way people see him. He's cheap, he's rude, he's all these things. Again, very unlikable guy in Jerry Reinsdorf. However, Jerry Reinsdorf in 1984 had the third pick in the draft. And he just took the best player on the board, and it was a guy by the name of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And you know what happened? He just rode that wave, made lots of money, and then eventually just lucked into hiring a good coach named Phil Jackson out of the CBA. So, yes, so sometimes, believe it or not, bad people do win, and bad ownership wins, and they look great for us. So, for all the people saying, get rid of Tepper, get Tepper out of here, he's not going anywhere, guys. He makes way too much money. So it's just something to think about, guys, that, hey, maybe it's just a little bit of luck. You can actually overcome Tepper.
You know what?
Pounding.
This is, you know what? You're wonderful. Thank you for the call.
We just need to draft our own Michael Jordan.
We just need luck.
Dude, we just need our own version.
We need some luck.
Yeah.
Any luck.
Agreed on that.
Just be 327 Commanders fan in here. And I'm not going to say it's luck because I think James Daniels is awesome. But the lightning, fire in a bottle. You know, sometimes you just need, sometimes there's being smart. Sometimes there's being a little lucky. Sometimes they're being in the right place at the right time. And the Panthers haven't been any of those things. We need a little luck. I agree. The number's 252-228-5098. We will take one more call and then continue to have fun amidst the misery.
What's up, C3? It's Kyle from Spartanburg.
What up, Kyle?
I just wanted to do a little revision of history. I'm gonna go through one of our drafts every week. We're gonna see how they currently panned out. So I'm gonna start here in 2018. All right, in the first round we drafted DJ Moore. Of course, he played really good for us, and then we traded him off with a whole bunch of picks to take Bryce Young. Well, that clearly hasn't worked out. So I guess it was a good pick, but then it kind of turned into a failed pick. And then second round, we drafted Diontae Johnson. I remember at one point he was like leading in interceptions out of any like secondary player in that draft class. And then he just kept getting hurt. And then, of course, this offseason we traded him for Deontae Johnson. It's early right now on Tuesday, but there's a lot of things saying that Deontae Johnson's probably going to be gone by this week. So I guess that's a failed pick too. I mean, he worked out for a little bit, but right now we have nothing, and that was only 6 years ago. Third round, we have Rashawn Golden. Not sure what happened to him. I'm pretty sure I remember something about he like blew up a player in preseason, or he like hurt like a teammate or something. There was some kind of practice, and he like
I haven't even thought about that.
Destroyed him, and then after that he got cut. I could be wrong. Fourth round, Ian Thomas, still on the team.
Greatest blocking tight end in the history of football.
He was the worst player graded out on PSF on offense last week against the Broncos. That just says anything. Fourth round again, Marquise Haynes. He was a good rotational pass rusher. We just cut him again. Last week too? We brought him back, cut him again. He's gone. Fifth round, Jermaine Carter. He failed. It was him and Tahir Whitehead were the two linebackers. They sucked. And then 2 seventh rounds, Andre Smith and Kendrick Norton.
Never even remember their names.
I don't think they played any part. So out of that entire draft, we have one player from that class on our team. His name's Ian Thomas. Everyone hates him.
Everybody hates him.
What can we do, man? It's just not good. We got to draft better. And man, the Saints are about to destroy us. They're on a 6-game losing streak, and we are going to be their comeback game of the century. They're going to rejuvenate their entire season off us. But I hope y'all have a good show. Peace.
Yeah, continued. Look, I mean, there's a bunch of names we can go through the draft that we have that are meaningless to us, that we've forgotten their names from. And you know what? I can't even remember their names. There's been so many of them. From outside linebacker. I think one of them is technically on the team in Amari Barno.
Technically, but he never does shit for us, so he might as well not be.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, man, listen, let me introduce somebody. You know him. You love him. This podcast is not the same without him. He's the hero that we need. Man, that's the Red Hood, baby. Oh, shit.
Oh man, can he hear us? Does he know? Yeah, we can hear you. There you are.
Yeah,
fantastic.
We gotta tilt your camera to your right a little.
Oh yeah.
Or left.
Dude, that costume is the
other way.
Shit, dude.
I'm getting ready for Halloween, But hey, I just want to stop in real quick and let everybody know I'm doing okay, and I wanted to give a thank you to everybody in C3 Nation. I'm a different man now. It's been a little while, and man, I miss the hell out of y'all. I really do.
Well, we're here for you, brother. Whenever you got a moment, that seat and that mic is always waiting for you.
Here for you, bro.
Look, it's not even y'all three. Like, I love y'all so much, but it's just the whole nation, man. I love C3 Nation so much, and y'all have done so much for me. And I've been through the ringer for the last month, and I wanted to come on and give a thank you to everybody and really, really tell everybody that there's a lot of things going on right now, but you've helped me through a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and a lot of messages and a lot of fans that have really shown me love, and I really appreciate that. I'm definitely a different man now. Obviously, the whole Red Hood thing, it's Halloween, so I'm trying to do this kind of thing, but I love every one of y'all, and I'm sorry I haven't watched the Panthers game this year.
You haven't missed anything. Bro, you don't need it in your life right now. You don't need it.
You don't need that toxicity, brother.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel glad that I'm not watching the games, to be honest with you, because I'm watching the highlights and seeing what's going on, and I'm so glad that I'm not invested in what's going on right now, because I feel like my 4-win prediction was a little overhanded.
Yeah,
a little. I like 3 games.
But no, I really miss y'all a lot. I love all of y'all, and I want to thank all of y'all for everything you've given me, the love you show me, support you show me. This is a family right here. Tony, bro, I can't thank you enough, man. dude drove what, 9 hours?
Probably 7.
Yeah. Well, anyway, to see me for 10 minutes. So I mean, like,
yeah. Well, you know what? I would have done. That's the least I could have done. I would have done 9 hours, easy.
I hear you. But no, I miss all of y'all so much, and I just want you to know that this is beyond football. Like, this is a family, and we really built something here, and I miss every one of y'all so much. I miss coming on here on Tuesday nights. I want to come on so bad, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Can't even show my face right now. So,
yeah, dude, take your time. Look, we know what's up with you. You're our brother. You know that seat is always warm. That mic is there for you at any moment. But more importantly, the phone, the text, always there.
I hear you. Well, I just want to step on real quick. I don't want to interrupt the show, mess the whole rhythm up, but I love all of y'all. I really do. Everybody in the chat room, everybody on the panel. You guys mean so much to me, and I'm clinging on to those kind of things right now, and I really appreciate everybody who's done what they've done, and everybody who said what they said, and I love the prayers going out to me. I love the people who are giving me messages. I just want to say thank y'all. I got to start a thank you tour. So it's time to start doing that, and this is where I'm going to start, because this is the closest family I have right now, and I can't thank all y'all enough for what you've done for me. It's been a rough month, but everybody in here has really helped me out a lot, and I appreciate everything everybody's done.
Greg, I don't know if you're reading the chat room here, but everybody loves you, brother. They're so happy to see you and hear from you again. Dude, we love you, man. And like Tony said, Dude, C3 is family, brother. Anytime you want to come and talk some Panther football, this is the place to be. We're ready and waiting for you, man.
I hear you, man.
Gotcha.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna let you get back to talking Panthers football because I'm not watching the games right now. I just kind of know that.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah. Honestly,
I'm not pulling myself through that. Like, I know we suck right now. David Tepper is a piece of shit, and he's ruined my team. I'm not going to worry about that right now, though. I got a lot of other stuff to worry about. But I really appreciate it, y'all. I love y'all, and keep pounding. I will see y'all soon. All right.
All right,
Love you,
Greg.
brother.
I'm gonna call you this week, man. I've been thinking about you. Thank you, Greg, showing up. Hey, what this perfect time isn't today? He's mentioned the family.
Yeah.
He's mentioned the community. Wasn't you told me, Cody, some news that I didn't even get to see on the YouTube studio? We get these every now and notification. But I think today, what is today?
So I logged on to the C3 page to set up the show, do stuff as I normally do. And I was greeted to this. Hooray! It's your channel's birthday.
That's a full 11 years. 11. We say we're in our 11th year. That means it completed it. We completed year 11 on the C3 Panthers podcast. And I tell you this is this show, regardless of its size, is mighty. And the community is mightier. And the friendships that we've made have been the mightiest. From my best friend who passed away, who was the previous a co-host of this, Joe Riolano, rest in peace. That this whole show started out as that friendship of just talking about the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Greg, in the most apropos time, who lost his wife tragically in a car accident just about a month ago. I don't know the exact date. He said a month tonight. It could be. That's a brother. The first time CK was there with me, the first time I met Greg in person. We had been great friends. We're good friends just via the internet. And I didn't meet him until 2 years ago in physical person. And we hugged and partied and had fun like real brothers. On top of that, to emphasize, look, is that this podcast, there is no effing way we make it to this birthday if it was about the people that you're looking at on the screen or the team we were talking about. If it was just about that, this mug would have been over. And here is a great moment to celebrate this, or how cool the Panthers community is. I got an email after Sunday's post-game show from Hampton Howe. And it was just the most kind. The subject line was words of encouragement, right? But the people that listen to this podcast, the people that participate in the calls, the people that participate in the chat, even the people that just listen, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, or whatever, they know it's not us talking football to them, but us all hanging out together. And Hampton Howe, I can't thank you enough for the email. It meant so much to me. I read it in a moment. I often read email like in the most crazy times where there's like walking from somewhere on my phone or something. And it was such a kind, personal message that I know I needed to, and I'm still going to reply to it via type, but I'm replying also to it now, that it deserved more than a just, hey, thank you type of thing. But what was wonderful about this email to me and so meaningful is that Hampton knew me. He knew us. It wasn't just like, hey, I hope you're doing all right. I heard you say something. It was a very like, hey, we're together. We've been in this. And it was after me bemoaning how God was testing me with the Carolina Panthers. But today we celebrate not a birthday of the C3 Panthers podcast, but a birthday of fans and friends hanging out. That's it. It's wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Cody, you want to take another call before we get back into it?
I'm down for the get down, brother. Whatever.
All right, we'll do one more call. We'll do one more call, and then we'll see what we got next on the docket.
Gotcha.
To the charismatic CK, the tenacious Tony Dunn, and yes, the incomparable Cody Lack.
Oh my goodness.
What's going on, boys? This ain't nobody but your boy CP, the vintage retro man, North Carolina's neighborhood hope dealer. First and foremost, before we get started, I want to give a shout out, man, to Anthony from Charlotte and Lou from Fort Myers. I can hear the passion in y'all boys' voices as well as the rest of C3 Nation, what we're going through right now. And I appreciate CK, man, the last call when he said one day, there's going to be hope again. One day we're going to win.
Deal it.
And so I appreciate that, boys, in our therapy session. Appreciate you. Hey, got a quick question, couple questions for y'all. I was thinking after our last loss, you know, Dan and Dave said this is a developmental organization. My question is, if that's true, what do the former NFL coaches, Dom Capers and Jim Caldwell, have to do with the development of our young first-time head coach, who now I have coined the term Dave Canales, the cutesy play caller from Carson High School.
Ooh,
from your perspective, what role do these guys play? They coached a lot of NFL football, right? Jim Caldwell and Dom Capers led teams to, I want to say, championship games, NFC, AFC championship games, possibly, maybe even a Super Bowl. I'm not exactly sure, but I know their experience. I was just thinking about that, wanting to send that question y'all way, but hey, C3 Nation, keep pounding, baby. We're going to get after it later.
Keep pounding. Man, Tony, don't you just love the optimism that we get in these calls? Dude, like even when the times are at their worst, dude, we have the best fans that are willing to look at the glass half full. And dude, dare I say, it makes you think, man, if we get through these tough times together, all of us as a collective will be able to say, man, y'all remember that shit that we went through way back when we were in the doldrums? Dude, it just makes you have a little bit of hope even when it feels like there is no hope to go around. Man.
I put that hope in my pipe and smoked it.
That's that hopium, baby.
Once he said the tenacious Tony Dunn, I was like, I'm
already.
Yeah. Hope now to his question about Dom Capers and Jim Caldwell. God bless. The hope just wore off. I thought they were going to matter last year. Yeah. I didn't even know. We barely even know these guys exist at this point. I understand if there was anybody, I thought, look, we had that super squad last year of all these coaches with all the Super Bowl rings. If Don Capers and Jim Caldwell are, they just are old and taking a paycheck, bro.
Right.
That's what I think. It's like, I love Jim Caldwell. Like, that's my dude.
Isn't that the best retirement home that you can imagine? South Mint Street, working for the Carolina Panthers.
I wish I could be an advisor on a team that was good.
Yeah, but at least you're getting a paycheck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like right now, all of those accolades are so far in the past, and this is so bad. Yuck, doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Dom Capers' hair is cooler than anything the Panthers got going on right now. So, what we got next in the show? Oh,
don't forget. Man. Let's.
Yeah.
You want?
Yeah.
You want to jump back into it? Let's jump back into it. So, listen, I think this is the conversation that we need to have. Let's go. Let me bring up the right slide here.
Don't care about any of this anymore. Trade. I feel like we should just talk about people we know and are friends.
No, this is the one. We need to talk about how are we going to go with Bryce Young or Andy Dalton to continue out the rest of the season. And it would appear as though that Andy Dalton is probably still the favorite. The biggest question now is what the Panthers will do next. Dalton is on track to be ready for week 9, but Dave Canales recently shared a strong message that may reveal who the starter will be. He found some great completions throughout the game. Canales said about Young, I thought the chemistry finding Xavier and finding Jaylen a couple times and finding David Moore, there were some things that I was really encouraged by, and I think he took steps in that regard. And I think that the whole process, the pre-snap operation, is the focus and the intent for us improvement-wise. It goes on to say the trade deadline is near, and the Panthers must decide whether to move on from Bryce. Canales refused to answer that question, stating that only the front office is handling the matter. Again, all those things are stuff that Dan Morgan and Brant Tillis are talking through. For me, my focus is to address some of the issues that we're talking about from a football standpoint. That's really where I have to keep my energy and focus right now. Boys, is it finally the time that we just hand over the reins to Bryce and try and continue to develop him and potentially get something out of him? And yes. Tony CK, while you guys answer that, I'm going to bring up some all-22 clips from some of his best plays throughout the
game. You go first, CK. I'm passionate about this, or not passionate. I have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yes, you have to put him out there. He has to still be, again, I know we've all said that we were excited to see Andy Dalton, and run this offense. It's a lost season, right? And the reality is that if he can show improvement, then there's value there, right? But also, we don't have Diontae Johnson anymore. We're not having to worry about keeping a veteran happy in that guy. And Adam Thielen and Bryce Young, for what it's worth, that did have a connection last year. So I think you've got to put him out there. You got to let him still try to develop. And by the end of the year, you're going to have an answer as to whether this is your guy or not, or even if you want to give him another opportunity. I think we pretty much got the answer at this point, whether he is the guy or not. But it's going to, you have the whole year. And to be fair, this week he did go up against a defense that was a top 5 unit in the entire NFL. And he didn't look great, but he certainly didn't look like the worst problem on the field.
I thought this is Bryce Young starting the season was required, was what we all thought was going to happen, what we all wanted to happen. Right. I thought the first 2 weeks were so abysmal. I didn't see it coming, but Dave Canales and the front office decided to but to go with Andy Dalton in the effort of not throwing the entire season away in their mind and honoring the other 52 people that were on that team.
Yeah.
The Andy Dalton injury on top, that was just the icing on the cake of a continual spiral of losing and terribleness. This gives the most convenient and most realistic way for you to put Bryce Young back in. There's nothing. There is no reason for the Carolina Panthers to not play Bryce until they break him literally, figuratively, or figure him out. The season is beyond over. I'm sorry. It is over. Get Bryce Young out there. I don't think it's going to do much to change the real trajectory of the team. Not this year. It's not going to do that. Nobody can change the trajectory of this team this year. But I don't think it's going to change the trajectory of us going forward. But it would leave uncertainty. It would leave craziness in the background. And God bless, can we just start him to get rid of this conversation by not only Panther reporters, Panther fans, that it was criminal to put Bryce Young out against the Broncos defense.
So
I threw up in my mouth when
I know he's so coddled, and it pisses me off to no end the amount of endless grace that Bryce Young has been given by not only a bunch of fans, but most of the mainstream media that covers the Panthers.
What is it up with? What's up with the rookie quarterbacks lately? Just getting so much grace for that. I mean, any of the younger quarterbacks, they've just been given this crazy long, like, just.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree though, because I feel like Anthony Richardson, and especially in spite of recent events, him tapping out and wanting to sit out the game.
He's terrible, dude.
And he's like
fucking awful. He has not had over 50% completion.
Right. Will Levis. People have been saying a lot of bad things about Will Levis for a long time. Right. So why is it that Bryce Young continues to play not good football? I mean, he did some okay things.
We've been saying bad things about Bryce Young. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I'm not saying us. I'm saying there are people that jump through hoops to make every excuse in the world for Bryce Young. And it's just annoying to me at this point, man.
Well, no, I mean, my point is that even with Anthony Richardson, and this is the first week that anybody has really been critical of him, and everything else has been, has been quite glowing when it comes to Anthony Richardson. And so I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think that all these younger players have been getting this national attention in a very like coddling way that is intended to try to, show, this is not who he is. He's just got this situation, Bryce included, by the way. I think that others were getting a little bit better than Bryce for the most part in the national media, but I think, Bryce is still a part of that, in my opinion, coddling. And so I disagree with you entirely. I think that these guys are all getting this national attention, this national media that is almost just blaming the organization for the failures of the people that are in the on the team. Like Anthony Richardson had a 30% completion rating, and people were still saying that he had a better game than Bryce Young.
A 30%. It was terrible. And then he tapped out. Now let's take this back to Bryce Young, though. What? When I saw, am I ridiculous? What was criminal about starting Bryce against the Broncos? You
because we had to play
him as the starter on Tuesday. You announced him as the starter on Tuesday. He was supposed to be your starter all season.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the franchise player. What is the criminal part? He's going against a good defense. The criminal part is what? That Diontae Johnson isn't playing. The criminal part is what? That some offensive lineman got hurt in the game. I don't think it's criminal at all. I think, if anything, Bryce should be not thankful, but like getting back on the field is the only thing that could potentially save Bryce right now. At any point until he does get back on the field.
You have to.
There's nothing criminal about this.
The fact that we traded so much to go up to number 1 to get Bryce Young, and now he has to face good defenses. Tony, this is what I'm talking about. I hate the amount to which Bryce Young from a national level, and I guess maybe we're on Twitter too much sometimes, reading some of the sentiment, but that's where we sort of get a lot of shit, is the amount of coddling that is happening to Bryce. Me and CK disagree. I think that Bryce has been given way more grace than Richardson and Levis. But either or. But my point is that Bryce Young isn't gonna have to perform against good defenses. That's why you traded up to the number 1 pick in order to get him.
Like any defense that's on the schedule, bitch.
Yeah, it's so stupid, man. Like
he doesn't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury. You play who you play. This is actually how did we say he was going to get back on the field? Andy Dalton getting injured is the potential thing that could save another season for him with the Panthers or enhance his trade value. Now, he did not enhance his trade value this past week.
Well, what does it say about Dave Canales if he decides to go with Andy Dalton over Bryce Young? Is he just over?
There's no way that's happening.
But how about this? If he does go with Andy Dalton over Bryce Young, that lets you know that he wants nothing to do with Bryce Young in this offense, and that they're going to look to move off of him. Because if you weren't, why would you not be playing him right now? It makes no sense.
Like
makes no sense.
The only reason you would be moving forward with Andy Dalton is honestly the opposite answer that he gave today, which is that he's given in the past, is that Andy Dalton doesn't give him the best opportunity to win, because right now
he doesn't want Young to get hurt and then ruin any trade value.
Right. I mean, that part is a valid.
If we trade Bryce Young, it's going to be for some fuck ass chump change, and it's going to be enough to piss off everyone. Like, why not just signal to the world that we're just an inept dumpster fire?
This is the most convenient way.
Make him sit.
This is the most convenient way to put Bryce back in and tank and do all the things without saying that you wanted to quit the season.
Do you, out of curiosity, do you think when you see, if you're on the Panthers and you're in this locker room, that's got to be difficult to be excited about anything, right? Like, it's got to be difficult. When you see a guy get traded to the Ravens, how much jealousy do you think there is for that?
A lot. Dude, imagine you're a receiver like Johnson, and you go from Bryce Young throwing you the ball to Lamar Jackson. Dude, that guy's fucking. That dude's pumped.
This is the best thing that for Diontae and doesn't hurt us. We almost owe it to some of these players.
I agree.
If we're not going to pay them, go let them and try to get their due. You know, I mean, who knows if the Ravens will be able to pay him? Who knows, whatever. But he will not be able to achieve anything close to his real value here on the Carolina Panthers, and that's why he's fucking dejected, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the dude going into this, like halfway through the season, at this point in time, we're not even halfway through the season, and he is seeing his future like start to just decline, right? Like
and when you say decline, if we put this into percentages, CK, like, what if I said this is that like you're gonna lose 50% of your lifelong income in the next 6 months,
right? I mean, 50%. Yeah, you're 100. Probably more than that, to be honest with you. If he's able to go up there and actually flash at all, the dude's going to get a nice contract. It may not. He'll probably get a contract similar to Calvin Ridley or like a Christian Kirk or something like that. Back, when he signed with the Jaguars, like he's not going to. I don't think he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver money, no matter how well he plays up there with Lamar Jackson. But let me rephrase. I think that if he goes up there and he looks like a freaking, Jamar Chase, then yeah, he's probably going to get paid crazy money.
Or even if he just looks like very
if he looks
good,
better than he did
like
in
Calvin
Pittsburgh.
Ridley last year. What if he looked like Calvin Ridley last year or the year before? God bless him. I wish the best to him. And I would say this is I don't hear nobody about saying you're a locker room cancer.
No, nobody.
Panthers. Cody implied this earlier.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of people are saying.
That's like saying, look at this little infected or swollen lymph node beside your kidney that is engorged because of cancer, and that kidney is the ping pong table. The ping pong table is a bigger cancer to the locker room than Deontae Johnson was.
So this is the last interview that Johnson ever did for the Panthers.
I see no problem already.
It depends on how I'm feeling. Other than that, I come here every day like I'm going to go out there and practice, and I'm saying based off how I'm feeling. It still hurt, you know what I'm saying?
Do you hear it?
Put myself at risk and just keep trying to make things worse. So like I said, I'm just taking it at a time, and we'll see on Sunday.
I've no problem with that. Play it again and listen for the ping pong table. Number one.
Oh, everybody heard that. Dude, the ping pong table is sometimes the only thing I fucking hear. It's so stupid, dude.
I don't even know what he said.
I want them to burn the fucking table.
And I love ping pong.
Dude, nobody in this organization. The only game that anyone in this organization is paid to play is fucking football. And no one wins enough football around here to justify anything else being played, dude. I'll see if I can find.
How about this? Let's ask this. I'll ask you, CK. How do you feel about? Can we play it one more time? Because I was overwhelmed by the ping pong. Let's listen to this. First,
when was this? When was this interview given? By the way,
that was, I think, a day or two after the game.
After the Denver game. So this would have been yesterday.
I believe so, yeah.
All right. So the question would be, what we kind of have to do is guess what the question is because we can't hear the question. And what is the question is, how do you go out there and give it your all, banged up, nicked up, with the idea that you could be potentially traded and that the Carolina Panthers are really dead weight, like a dead in the water. That's what I would. Now, let's listen to it again. You guys think about what the question could be and what he says.
They're basically asking him about his practice schedule and his willingness to come and practice, or is he sitting out on purpose? Again, it's hard to hear.
It depends on how I'm feeling. Other than that,
Yeah, it depends on how I'm feeling. Leads me to believe they asked him, will he be available to play for one of these games?
Okay, so he doesn't say it with a bunch of emotion, like.
I'm saying based off how I'm feeling. It still hurt, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put myself at risk and just keep trying to make things.
If I'm still hurt, I'm not going to put myself at risk.
No lies, no problem.
Yeah, I'm just taking it all the time. And we'll see on Sunday.
We'll see on Sunday.
I have no problem with any of this.
I think the reason why people are saying that maybe he was wanted out, or that maybe he was a quote unquote cancer. Again, this is all thrown around, but why would you not be disgruntled at this point? But basically that he was essentially demanding a trade, and that the Panthers knew that they had to trade him. So that's why you saw a deal like this, which was for next to no compensation.
What the fuck is the problem with that?
They just had to get him out the door.
What is the problem with that? Do you know how many times that people tell us that when we say we overplay a player, we give them too much money? Don't, like they're players. They got to do what they do, which I am. I'm about that. Get your money. Get your shit. Do that. Deontae Johnson was the second best player on our offense outside of Chuba Hubbard and the entire offensive line.
Yeah.
He was traded for. His contract is ending. I see no problem at all. At all. Like, I mean, we might be unhappy that the way it worked out, but I'm so unhappy about the fucking ping pong table.
Burn it. Dude, I would give my first coach or my first speech as the head coach of the Panthers. I would bring them all out to the practice field at like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to put some lighter fluid on those fucking tables.
Make them burn it.
Yeah, we're going to fucking burn them. And I'm going to tell everyone, hey, the whole world thinks that y'all ain't shit. And I'm going to make them feel a little disrespected. You need to play with a fucking chip on your shoulder. Quit playing miserable and sorry. And go out there and fight like keep pounding is the motto of this team.
Oh, God. We got anything else to talk about before we chat GBT, the solution to the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah. Turns out we do. So, listen, part of the reason why some people, myself included, are not too mad about the exiting of Deontae Johnson is, boys, I'll be damned. We may have found a gem as an undrafted free agent. Jaylen Coker, according to PFF, had an 80.1 overall grade. He is ranked alongside of Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Brock Bowers, all first-round picks. Have the Carolina Panthers found a hidden gem at the wide receiver position.
And the dude's bigger than I thought he was, too. Like, the dude seems pretty big. I think
6'2".
Yeah, I think the dude's. Well, from what I saw a guy who was able to get open. I saw a guy who had surefire hands. I think I like the kid. I have nothing negative to say about him.
Oh shit! What happened to CK?
Hey,
oh no, CK just disappeared. This is the video that the Carolina Panthers put out. A little bit of a Jaylen Coker hype video.
This film, and I'm going, what's it remind me of? You ready, my cop? Tim Duncan.
I don't know where this.
Watch out.
Rose Coker with a fantastic catch.
He knows why he's doing it.
The Panthers have found something in Jaylen Coker.
When he's going to do it.
Jaylen Coker with a fantastic catch.
He like that.
Somebody needed to step up and make a play. There's the rookie. Steve Smith, Luke, raved about this kid coming out of college.
He can play.
Looking for Coker, back shoulder. Jaylen Coker makes the catch. First career touchdown for the rookie out of Holy Cross.
Hey, Jaylen Coker good as
So have the Carolina Panthers found the gem in Jaylen Coker? Keep pounding since Coker is the future. I like him, man. I like his size. I like the strength. I like what he's been able to show. Dude, especially now when you have Jonathan Mingo looking like a certified bust every bit as much as Bryce Young has looked, then, yeah, dude, I love having some wide receiver talent, especially that we found undrafted. It gives me a little hope that maybe some of these later round guys are going to finally start to hit for us. And to me, that's an indicator of a truly good draft.
I'll let y'all get excited about this.
Yeah, if anybody should be getting excited about this, I think it's you, Tony. As much as you love these underdogs, from Cameron Artis-Payne to Demir Bird and all these guys. I mean, this is your type of player. This is the guy that you should be getting excited about, historically speaking, based on your history of loving players exactly like this.
Well, I think it's interesting that Steve Smith has chimed in on a lot of wide receivers and has had mixed results from Panther fans about his evaluations. Right? I love Steve Smith. I appreciate, I respect what he says way more than what I say. And you're right, CK. This is my type of guy. And this is the type of player that if it works and if it becomes like a star or like a real contributor, those are the things. That's the luck we need. That's the luck we need to change a team around, in the third round, pick a guy who should be the number one, like that first round pick type stuff. An undrafted player that becomes as big of a contributor or bigger of a star than Diontae Johnson could have been. But I tell you this, Steve Smith, you lost me when your comp was Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan in 1997 in the Charlotte Coliseum was drafted number 1 overall. Number 1 overall. Make sure I didn't get that wrong. I was scroll down. Tim Duncan, number 1 overall to the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan, Hall of Fame NBA player. Hall of Fame. And arguably one of the greatest college basketball players of all time. So, look, I'm sorry. I don't know where you're going with this box out, consistent, stuff. Oh, God. I'm getting a call. You guys can hear it when I get that's. By the way, I love the wire as my ringtone. Look, I love it. I love the Coker guy. I love Steve Smith loving him. But Tim Duncan, greatest of greats. Sorry, you lost me there.
Dude, I don't know shit about basketball, so I could not tell you.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm just like, yeah.
Tim Duncan, look, Tim Duncan. No, Tim Duncan is one of the greatest.
I mean, I know the name. I know the name.
One of the greatest college basketball players of all time. So look, I love the celebration of Coker, but this is a real knock on fucking Tim Duncan. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on with the show. Do you guys want to take more calls? What are we doing? What are we doing?
How about this before we take another one? A real quick update of our draft situation as of next year after the Deontae Johnson trade. Here's a look at the Panthers 2025 draft picks. As it stands, we have our own first. We have the Los Angeles Rams second. We have our own third, our own fourth, our own fifth. New York Giants is fifth. Baltimore Ravens fifth. Our own seventh, unless it's lower than Arizona's. Arizona's seventh, unless it's lower than Carolina's. And the Chiefs will get the higher of the two sevens, but only one of them. And Kansas City seventh. So this is what we're looking at in the draft, Tony. I know you hate it, but maybe this is the year to get involved, man. Maybe we ought to start looking at some players a little bit early on the defensive line, maybe on the defensive secondary. I mean, y'all see I have Travis Hunter pictured here. This is the dream for a lot of Panther fans thinking about having Travis Hunter on one end, J.C. Horn on the other, two potential shutdown corners for the Panthers. Or maybe it is that quarterback. Maybe it is Shedeur Sanders. That's something we'll have to continue to keep it posted here and look out for, man.
Christian Hunt says, I think Tony is missing the point of the comp. I am. You are exactly right. I am missing the point of comparing an undrafted guy on the worst fucking team in the history of football, it seems like, that had one or two good games to the greatest NBA player, one of the greatest NBA players, and one of the greatest college players. While you can say this, steady. I mean, I don't know, like whatever it is that's like saying this is Coker. Man, he may as well have been the Siddhartha Gautama. That's his comp.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Siddhartha Gautama is one who went on to be Buddha, bro.
Oh, really?
Like it's so, yeah, that's Buddha. Like Nirvana, you know.
Yeah, I thought you were mentioning another basketball player, dude.
No, Buddha.
Whoa, who the
It's
fuck
like it's
is that
so
guy?
outside the realm
What
of
round was
comp.
he taking in?
It's like so outside the realm of comps. It's like man, Coker, fucking Charles Dickens.
D Money says I think Smitty is comparing him by nickname. Was the big fundamental.
C3 Anthony said, Tony, I love you, my Italian paisan, but I hate the hat you're wearing. Hey, cool news is I love hats so much, but I only wear football hats on the team I love. So I will not wear another NFL team other than Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
But I got to look fresh. I got to look crispy. I got to do all those things. I'm a Cubs fan. I know. Thankfully, Houston's not in our division anymore. But now every sport, I hold no allegiance to a team in my hat game outside the NFL. So NBA, wear it based on the colors in the logo. Baseball, colors in the logo. Coolest thing is when you get a cool, fresh, crispy hat that isn't a sports hat. You know, I got a Prince hat.
Ooh.
Chef's kiss. Got a white Jordan hat. Wonderful. But it's hard. It's hard to find cool hats that aren't sports teams. Always now, baseball, hockey, basketball, minor league team hats are fucking fresh. They are fresh. I want to get
I'm just now becoming aware of the Savannah Bananas. Have you heard of this team?
Huh. Yeah, they're Bank of America, I think.
Yeah, but they're also like they're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a show and like, dude, I would go to that. Get super lit up and check out some Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, we're about to go to D in Sanford, but there is a hat, an ultimate. All right, so I got two things I'm working on. One is there is a minor league team called the Texas Drillers, and there is one hat. It's out of stock. It says TD. Bro, Tony Dunn.
Ooh.
Gotta get that. And now I'm so over the Panthers. I think my next acquisition, I'm going to buy a Cam Newton Auburn jersey. That's the jersey. My next jersey is throwback Cam Newton Auburn. You can't tell me if I hung that on the wall in this podcast behind me. I'm going to do it. My new place, guys. When I go to the new spot.
Hey, Mr. Stats with the $5 says, Tony, you should get one of those long bill hats like the Sandlot.
Bro, I got a style. It's a simple one. I stick to it. Flat bill somehow matches the shirt and the shoes. That's all I got. That's my gear. Let's go to D in Sanford.
Well, how about this is our final one before we get to the all the Saints stuff. So Taylor Moten is right now is listed at a $31.3 million cap hit next season. Is there any chance that we look to alleviate some of that contract by potentially trading Taylor Moten?
Nope.
We got to look at the details. Like, what would a trade actually do? Because the guaranteed money doesn't go with the trade.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look at the details. Like, how much would it alleviate?
And to be completely honest with you, why would we want to go backwards? Like, we want to. I think if you're talking about building a team, you've got to build with the trenches, and we finally got trenches that are intact. And the idea of having to replace another right tackle while at the same time trying to decide how we're going to handle Christensen as he's going to be coming up, and clearly I think he's going to be a priority next year just based on how well he's done filling in multiple positions throughout his entire career here. He's been one of the most underappreciated players on this team. And so I don't think you're going to get rid of Moten, especially if there's not a significant benefit. You're not. I just can't imagine. Now, if you're having somebody who's offering a first-round draft pick, then hey, all bets are off the table.
Right now, it says this is that if you would have cut him going in this season, you would have had $32 million in dead money, $9 million in cap savings. I think if you trade him, that prorated signing bonus, you owe him $13 million, and that doesn't go with the trade. So you want to bitch about the $3 million we're paying? Imagine paying $13 million next year to not have Taylor Moten. Don't see that happening for a aging right tackle who is slightly injured right now. More value to us, less value to them. We're going D in Sanford. Then we're going my fine Anthony. We got you guys. The number's 252-228-5098.
I see that was a weak keep pounding, and y'all not going to get that one. I love y'all too much for that. But the report I wanted to give you, for those who knew about the situation I was dealing with my son, and they was talking about possible organ failure and his quality of life not being the same. Well, I got a report for every single one of you. His organs are healing at a massive rate. He's getting his energy back. He's coming back to himself. And then the thing that made me kind of emotional earlier today, and it might have been why I didn't care too much about the Diontae Johnson in a heavy manner. James Madison's University's basketball coach called me and said if my son can pass a physical in January, they will give him a full ride on that basketball team. Boy, God is good. But I just want to say thank you to my C3 family who was with me every step of the way. Diesel Skills, Cody, Lack, Kobe. Kobe, you just don't know what you mean to me, bro. G, baby. Even Twan Don from the 704. The way y'all rallied around me, Tony, just the nice words that you've had for me, and just how y'all have embraced me, I can never repay you. I know I'm a small piece to this major cog that y'all have going on, but I couldn't be more proud to be part of this small piece. And for everybody to think the world is ending, it's not ending. You look at my life, I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Kosovo. I've just lived in rough areas, came up without a father figure and everything else. But I see the good in everything.
Good Lord.
Find the bright spots in this team. Love your team. And if you ain't with us now, don't come to the parade. Yee. Pound.
Keep pounding. D, we love you, brother. Love you, man.
Really, gosh, what a heartwarming show this has been, despite us I usually start on these shows like we're in the midst of the doldrums of blah, blah, blah. We are this. You know what? We came in tonight's show. We did not start with that in that way. This was the first time, I think, in months that I haven't said it's therapy. Right? And this isn't therapy. This is friendship. D, wonderful story. We love you. First, you're not a small cog. You are the reason, bro. You're a major part. Just like everybody else that calls in, everybody else that chats. God bless your son. I hope he continues to improve. I hope those opportunities and God continues to bless you and your family. I was thinking, I forgot what I wanted to talk about. My patron saint. My favorite saint, the one that this is important to me, has to do with my family, my grandfather, who's very important to me in life. This was his patron saint. Yesterday was the feast day of St. Jude of impossible lost causes. And I can't think of a place that there's more of an impossible or lost cause than the Carolina Panthers. And it spoke, look, it's very important. I got a lot of shit going on, stuff going on in my life. But St. Jude, go say the prayer. Have St. Jude pray to Jesus for us. We need it. God bless your family.
I wanted to say something real quick, too. I've been watching a very famous anime lately that's been around since the 1990s called Berserk. And in the show, there's this mercenary group called the Band of the Hawk. And the main character, Guts, was talking about the Band of the Hawk, that each and every member has a torch. They all have a flame that they bring. And then collectively, each and every person brings their own flame. And together, it makes this giant blaze that is bright and cannot be extinguished and cannot put out. Dude, I love that. To me, that reminds me of the C3 Legion. Every single voice is cherished, is needed. We need y'all, man. We get through the bad times because of y'all, both related to Panther football and just in our personal lives. So, dude, we're all in this together. C3 is for the fans, by the fans, and I'm just so honored to be a part of a community where we all feel like we're getting some real, some mental health out of this by providing this family and this brotherhood to all of us Panther fans, man. It means a lot. D, we love you, brother. Greg, we love you, man. And to anybody that's going through something, we love y'all. Prayers are with y'all, and we're here for one another, man.
Let's go to my baby brother, Anthony, my guy. Sherry, you got a good name, baby.
What's up, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Hope y'all boys are having a good Tuesday. Just wanted to call in and talk about the Diontae Johnson trade a little bit. Obviously I predicted a couple weeks ago that he was going to be traded. It just seemed inevitable. There's no future stability at quarterback right now. There's uncertainty on the roster. Just a lot going on. They traded him. Bad trade. They didn't get anything for him, but hey, they got something at least. I guess you moved up in the draft 3 spots for a player that wasn't going to resign here next year. Is what it is. They tried paying him according to Sheena. He probably didn't want to be here. That's just how it is, man. And that's just ultimately where the franchise is. We've been in spaces all day, and just starting to really care. I mean, I'm starting to just not give a shit pretty much about this team. It sucks, but it is what it is, nothing's going to change until the people up top change. And it's been 7 years of this now, and you just kind of drained out, mentally unfocused, just, not that interested. Hope to now survive the season, even though I don't necessarily believe in him. That it would be terrible for him to get fired after a year. 4 players got to get traded. Trade Ian Thomas for a 13th round pick. Trade Jonathan Mingo for an 8th round pick. That's it. I mean, there really isn't anything else to say. Again, where's this team going? What's the direction? Don't know. I guess look forward to the draft. ESPN has us at a 45% chance to get picked number 1. That's actually insane. But yeah, those are my thoughts. We're not going to win this week versus the Saints. So 1-8 on the way going into Germany. Give me your thoughts. Just nothing else to say, man. Just emotionally drained, tired.
CK,
There's not much you can do, man. It's just crazy that we get worse every season. Just tired of it. Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
Keep pounding.
Apathy is apathy.
I want to make the shirt. I was thinking about because it's hard to make shirts that you need an artist and stuff. But if you just do words and emojis or something,
right?
What if we did a apathy is apathy, and then the A you changed, and it was just the person the emoji of people whatever, and you just switch where the. I love that. Apathy is apathy. That's the most fucking real definition of it.
Yeah.
I love that. Anthony, we're going to talk about that Saints joint in just a minute, but if we win against the Saints, I'm going to actually be pissed.
I know. At this point in time, winning does nothing for us.
Yeah, but I also don't want to win against a division team that helps them, whatever. That I want, if we're going to win, I'd like to win the game that we're really not supposed to win. Somehow beat the fucking Chiefs. I don't know. You know what? I don't even care about wanting to win. I do not believe the Panthers will win one more game this season.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
I will not pick them. I will not pick them or the Jets to fucking win a single game. I have been burnt.
So to get into this matchup against
New
Orleans,
you cover me on this and introduce it. All right.
Yeah, to break down this matchup against New Orleans, CK. The spread is Saints -7. The money line is Saints -350. Panthers +260. The total, the over is 43.5. The under is 43.5. A lot to sort of kind of go through here. CK, this is the injury report for both teams. Saints injury report is Cedric Wilson Jr. All these players are questionable. Nick Saliveri, Derek Carr, Bub Means, Rico Payton, and at this point right now, Andy Dalton, questionable. Dane Jackson, questionable. Yosh Nijman, questionable. Jamie Robinson, and DJ Johnson. And another thing that we don't know yet, CK, is who the quarterback is going to end up being for this Sunday's matchup. The Saints quarterback situation could change throughout the week. Derek Carr, who started the season for New Orleans, left in week 5 with an oblique injury and has not played since, giving way to rookie Spencer Rattler. In his 3 games, Rattler has gone 59 of 99 for 571 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. But on Monday, Saints coach Dennis Allen said Carr could be available against the Panthers. Derek Carr had a throwing session again today. Looked good in throwing session. Allen told reporters, I would expect him to be back out at practice again on Wednesday, and then we'll go from there and see what his availability is this week. But I'm optimistic about it. CK, does it change what you think of the outcome of this matchup, depending on if we're facing Derek Carr or Spencer Rattler?
No. Dude, we've made rookie quarterbacks look like they're offensive player of the year every time we played them this year. Like between Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Jaden Williams was on pace just based on that first half of that first drive. We were on pace to let him just basically probably break the rookie running record in a single game, regardless of what position you play. Just based on the first play, we let him run down the field 35, 40 yards and play one off the line of scrimmage. We are what will make every single rookie quarterback go into the rest of the season with immense confidence. Oh, this game is easy. And then just keep on rolling. Like every single person we faced, Caleb Williams, we were the get right game for him. He's actually been pretty decent, okay, since he's, faced the Panthers. Bo Nix had his career, like that signature win that you look for from a rookie quarterback against us last week. I have a feeling you'll probably see him continue to perform at a high level, right? You're going to look at, Spencer Rattler could come out here and he could look like the offensive player of the year after playing against us. If it's Derek Carr, I think you could expect more of the same of what we saw in week 1, where we are basically accounting for 50% of his entire season stats this year.
Dude, it lets you know how bad the defense is.
No.
That a 4th or 5th round rookie quarterback, no Panther fans feel confident against him. And we're all thinking, he's probably going to have a career game, just like Bo Nix, just like Caleb Williams, just like Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Dude, any South Carolina quarterback, they all suck. So he's going to come in here, and if he looks good against the Panthers, God, that means we suck even more. God, just absolutely terrible, man.
Painful.
A double-edged sword, regardless of who is that quarterback. Well, let me get Tony in on this. Tony, does it matter to you who starts at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? Spencer Rattler could be the starter, but they're saying that Derek Carr could come back. Does whatever quarterback they play matter, or is this just another loss for an absolutely inept Panther defense?
Muted. I can't hear you.
You're muted.
I guess it means a lot for Spencer Rattler, who could look like Bo Nix last week. Like God bless. No, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I mean, look, what does matter is that the Saints stink, but the Panthers also stink.
Well, they just don't forget that this team that stinks made us look like we were nothing. Basically, ruined our entire season week 1.
Well, but Cody always says you don't know who a team is until week 6.
That might be true, but we found out week 1.
Frauds. The Saints were frauds. They went and beat the shit out of us, who everybody does, and then they went and beat down on Dallas, who can't win at home. And then after that, it's just been a downward spiral for them. They're not good, but we're worse. That's what I would say. I can't get up here in good conscience and say we're better than anyone.
Yeah, I mean, you have no leg to stand on that, to be honest with you.
I mean, like what? The Giants still can't say it. Yeah?
Yeah, can't and they won't. Last part, hold on. Break down this a little more. So regardless of who is at quarterback, there is one weapon on offense that will inevitably drive the ship for the Saints. And it was the same last season, same in week 1, and it will be the same again on Sunday. That's Alvin Kamara. Jamal Williams may be the social media star, blah, 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 but Kamara not only leads the rushing attack, he is the rushing attack for New Orleans. Kamara currently has 121 carries for 505 yards. The yardage total is more than 4 times as much as the next closest rusher. Are we expecting Kamara just to come in and just go absolutely
Yes,
crazy.
he does that
running
to
the
us.
football.
Yes, he does that to us even when we're not beat up. Yes.
So by the way, I have tickets to go to
Oh.
this game, but I'm fucking struggling.
I'm not struggling.
Like,
You're going
dude,
to see
I
your friends.
Yeah, I know.
You're
But
going to see
God,
your
just
friends.
going there and being around all those fucking Saints fans and just to
Who
watch
that? Dance.
just to watch us get miserably blown out, dude. This is tough, man. And we got some.
Yes. Let's go super chat.
We got the super chats, man. Shout out to Andrew Link with the $5 C3 bomb. Says we normally give up more points in the first half than most teams' average game totals. That's embarrassing. But the truth. And then Marcel Cooper with the $9.99. Thank you, Marcel. He says, I'm late to the show, but us giving Deontay away for a pick swap is laughable. There's no way we couldn't have gotten more. We literally only jumped a few spots on day 3. What the fuck are we doing?
Is that what you guys were talking about with the comp pick and things like this?
Yeah. We've only moved up a few spots.
Well, it's again, right now, was it what based on the reporting, barring any other changes, which again, ideally the Ravens are thinking they're going to be a better team, so they could, change immensely.
Don't worry. They are going to be, bro.
Right. But I think it's like a full 18 spots, which is still it's significant in the idea of, like, it's not 3 like many people are saying right now. That could change based on how we handle free agency and all of that stuff too. But 18 position or 18 spots is actually, I think reasonable. Especially when you think about the fact that he is a number 2 wide receiver.
Or that he didn't want to be here. We stink, and we wouldn't get even a 5th round pick for anybody else.
Right.
All right, here. I need all 3 while we listen to the next call. I need you guys to do a homework assignment for me. All right. CK, I'll say this is you get your choice of the pick. What we need to do is we got to give Chat GPT a prompt.
Okay.
So the way you got to use this for it to be anything like to be meaningful here is, can you say something about what has happened over the past couple of years? I would think it would be Panthers have 3 coaches. So if you could type out 3 coaches, transition, 6 losing seasons or whatever. Cody, if you can in the private chat tell me the details of what the Carolina Panthers tried to do with the Bryce Young trade. Right? In the midst. So think of you your prompt being after CK's.
So what am I prompting this again?
Your part of we got to give it a prompt. We're going to give it a 3-part. We're each going to write a little prompt. If you could write what has happened to the Panthers over the last 6 years when it comes to coaching, transition, 3 coaches, losing records, blah, blah, blah. Then we go CK, and then Cody's going to write a little bit. It's just going to say the Panthers, in an effort to rebuild, move to number 1.
You want me to put it in the private chat?
Yeah, because then I'm going to copy and paste those, and then I'll put mine in there, or else I'm just going to be typing up here because I wasn't prepared for this. But I had a day at work where AI has ruined my life and what potentially I do for a living with kids. So we're going to see if AI can fix the Carolina Panthers. Let's go to another call as we do that.
Wait, I got a question. Am I supposed to write like the recap or what the Panthers should have done when they traded?
No, just say what happened with the Carolina Panthers in an effort to rebuild their team, moved to number 1 and traded blah 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 last year
for Bryce Young.
It didn't, and then I'll go. It didn't work out. Blah blah blah. I'll take care of this 2024 season part.
All right.
All right, let's go to. Did we listen to Joey yet?
No,
The growl that makes him howl. All right.
I don't believe so.
Hey guys, it's the growl that makes him howl, aka Joey the Blind Panther. Calling to talk about when I first joined the C3 community. So this was right around when David Tepper first took over as the owner. And I wanted to find out more about him, so I went on YouTube, searching the whole deal. And that's how I found y'all. And I watched your podcast episode about Tepper when he took over. I can't remember which one, so long ago. But, and you know, I knew it was on Tuesdays at 9, and I was in school at the time, so listening would be very difficult. But I would listen here and there. And I remember coming and, you know, basically whenever I can, I'd come. And then that was I think it was my senior year of high school. Must have been my senior year of high school. Because I think it was my senior year. I don't even remember. It was, so, yeah, I think it was my senior year. And then when summer hit, I think it was summer, but I definitely remember when I was in the basically blind college, you know, learning a bunch of independent living skills and stuff. That's when I started listening every week, like around the time Ron Rivera got fired and stuff. I had been a week-long listener. Like, I think, I can't remember the first time I called in, but I definitely remember when I would walk up to the convenience store, go grab some pickled sausages, some Coke, because I had to be up at 5 a.m. every morning, and a bag of Takis, and I would pig out on junk food and listen to the whole C3 podcast. And I've been listening ever since. Anyway, guys.
Hey! Wow! I love it, dude. I love hearing how everybody found us. At what time in the Panthers seasons did they find us? When did they start coming on? Was it the free for all they found first? Was it the Tuesday show? Was it the post game show? Dude, we have one hell of a community, man. That's why we call it the C3 Legion, because we are some real C3 warriors out here, man. Dude, you can even be blind like Joey the Blind Panther, and even that man can see the strength of the Legion. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah.
How about this? Is because I'm still writing. Let's go
I
to
put
G.
one in the.
Let's go to G baby. Let's go to G baby here.
Hey. You know who the fuck it is. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka! What's Gucci with my boys? What's good with my white Italian brother? What's good with you, CK? And what's good with you, Cody? Let's get to it. It was a mistake, man. We fucked up. We should have never traded Diontae Johnson. I solely blame the ringleader. His name goes by Anthony Piccolo. The motherfucker cursed us. He spoke this shit into the universe, into the galaxy, and he got what he wanted. Anthony's been wanting fucking Deontae Johnson gone. There's been a lot of motherfuckers in C3 Nation that's been wanting Deontae Johnson gone. So
I love how G Baby will blame the fan.
It is what it is, man.
As
far as Bryce Young, yeah, he's got us down the field, man. And to be honest with you, Bryce Young had a great fucking game, man. Even if he was able to get fucking yards in garbage time, he was still able to get more connected with fucking Coker, get connected. The ball that he had to excel on the best defensive DB and Patrick Surtain in the end zone was fucking sexy as hell. I'm coming around to liking Xavier Leggett. I love his little fucking pony celebration. He got a deep ass voice, black as fuck, and he's doing that fucking pony celebration. That shit's fucking raw as fuck to me, bro. So I love the additions that we made, and we still got Jonathan Brooks coming back, which I think he should not come back this year. Save this year, as if it's a fucking redshirt year in fucking college, bro. Just save your legs, bro. There's no need to come back to this shit show. But Bryce Young made a lot of impeccable throws during that fucking game against top three fucking defense. And go watch the all 22. I mean, given with nothing, last second thrown in, Andy Dalton's bitch ass gets in a car accident. I'm glad he's okay. He had a great game, man. The most passing yards by a QB in the past, 5 games since Justin Herbert. Yeah, your boy Justin Herbert, Cody Lack, get off Bryce Young's fucking tip, bro. Ain't no one got no fucking excuse for the fucking truth, bro. The fuck is you talk about? Let's talk about fucking AR fucking tapping out, saying I'm a bitch and I need fucking air. Let's talk about that, bro. Bryce Young's still standing on his fucking 2 feet, fucking straight dogging. What the fuck are y'all talking about, man? But I got another call back.
Yeah, he's coming
hey,
back.
Man, it is what it is, but we got that number 1 pick and we need to lock that shit in, baby. I got another call, my white Italian brother.
I just like when he goes, it's Gucci, baby. What's Gucci, baby? All right, here we go.
G, baby. I would love to fucking continue to fucking build this offensive line. Listen, motherfuckers are telling me this is a 5 to 7 year rebuild. Well, motherfucker, I'm 33, okay? Which means I'm gonna be 40. So if that's the motherfucking case, then we need to fucking do this rebuild the correct way. We already have our fucking QB that's got a guaranteed contract for what, 4 years? Yeah, with a 5th year option in place. So if motherfuckers think we really about to move off this, my light skinned baby face assassin, brother, y'all are fucking tripping, bruh. Because from what I've seen that game against one of the best defenses, scoring a fucking touchdown on the best DV in fucking football, just strides. He's making strides, bruh. And that's why he should have been playing. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Dave Canales, bro. And if he's really about to bring fucking Andy Dalton back, like, bro, I don't know what the fuck that means, bro. I really don't. Like, Dave Canales is a straight bitch, bro. Like, I don't see him as being an actual head coach. Like, I'm not behind his fucking product, bro. Like, he ain't gonna fucking fool me, bro. He's a pure liar, bro. And I know when someone's lying straight to my fucking face, if he's lied to my face, I've caught this motherfucker lie to my face on multiple fucking occasions, bro.
I heard his wife did too.
I'm on that fucking Canal.
That's what people are saying.
But, and why would we bring in another QB if we just fucking traded away a number 1 wide receiver? So we're just doing that number 1 QB that you're trying to fucking bring in a disadvantage, and we're starting over the process again and again and again. And that's why we need to fucking rebuild the motherfucking team, man. Like I told you guys, I've said this multiple fucking occasions. There's freaks, there's monsters, and then there's fucking aliens. Travis Hunter is a motherfucking alien from fucking another universe, bro. And there's a couple of other aliens that I believe that we could take
Bryce
with this
Young.
top 3 pick. But now that we have this number 1 spot, we gotta lock it in. But I still want to see my fucking brother Bryce motherfucking Young, the fucking truth, stride and continue to fucking grow with Coker, grow with fucking XL, grow with fucking Jatavion fucking Sanders, and let's get these fucking Miles Sanders the fuck out of here. And if we do trade him, then we gotta get I think Jonathan Brooks got to be activated by this game or some shit like that. So, like, yeah, there's a lot to be seen this game, but y'all know who the fuck it is. It's G-Baby, and I'm out.
Bryce Young's not an alien, and G-Baby is so dug in like an ex-wife.
Dude, find somebody as loyal to you as G-Baby is to Bryce Young.
Oh, my
I
God.
mean, really, dude.
What's
Like,
Gucci?
it is hilarious that G-Baby is always talking about aliens. You know, the freak show type talent.
Yeah.
And yet the corner that his favorite player has zero alien abilities.
Hold on. Do me a favor. Google images of aliens and tell me that that's not exactly what Bryce Young looks like.
Oh, maybe he's a great alien dog.
It's not real. Yeah, is Cam Newton was a titan of men. He was like when there were giants.
I just don't
and
know.
now we got these little bitch ass aliens that just.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just don't. Look, I get it, dude. Let him
No,
start.
you know what? Look,
Let him start. I don't even give a
Yes.
damn. Like, no, none of us give a damn anymore. Because if it's Andy Dalton or Bryce Young, we're staring down the number 1 overall pick. And to be honest, they're just being real, boys. There's almost that part of me that would rather have like 2nd, 3rd, or 4th overall pick rather
Then
than the 1st overall pick again. You know what I'm
and
saying?
you're going
Like,
to want a quarterback. Then you're going to want a quarterback. Yeah, look,
who
to
knows,
DJ's
man?
point
Less
is,
pressure.
look, Bryce Young at moments in that game and in moments in the past has thrown like when he does look downfield, you're like, shit, cork it, baby. This is gonna be the moment that you fucking get your juju back. And every time it's just a little off. The magic just isn't there. And I don't know if it's not the player, it's like sometimes it's not in his power. Right? I mean, you can say, oh, the team, this and that. But sometimes being at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, builds your confidence. And he just has not. There's been so many times that we're like, all right, he just got to connect and get a rhythm. In some ways, we thought he was. We were starting to see him last year as a rhythm player. The more he got going into it in those games that he did well, started feeling better. By the way, rhythm player, Cam Newton. And but Cam Newton's rhythm player, you want to talk about a real freak, a real alien, a real titan of men. Cam Newton always just said this. Do you remember how nervous he looked always on the first snap? He'd be praying. I'd be like, Cam, you're the most beautiful, awesome person in the world out there. Don't be nervous. But with Cam, you just got to get a little dirt on his jersey. Like the first play of every game with Cam should have just been a run for him. Get a little dirt on his jersey. Boom. You're in there. Bryce just ain't been able to get that magic.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's not good, not capable, not this. And sometimes it's just getting the mojo, getting the wind behind your back. And by the way, Jaden Daniels, the magic. Got it. Got it. CJ Stroud last year. Magic. I don't know. I just don't know if Bryce is going to be able to come out of this.
Tony, I hate his interviews. I hate his interviews. Not only do I hate his play, but I hate that he won't come out there and show any semblance of fire. Like, what are we hanging on to? You won't even come out and say, yeah, I want the job.
I
Like,
need, you know what?
Be vocal, man.
Make
me feel like you give a fuck about this. Because not only are you terrible, I feel like you don't even give a damn if you're starting or not. So why should Dave Canales start you over Andy Dalton? Really, why? You don't really make a good case for it yourself.
Because we got to either break you or forge you through fire, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You got two answers. There's two ends to this in Carolina. Now, that doesn't mean his career is completely over. It doesn't mean blah, 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 blah. But you're either going to be forged through fire or broken this season by the Carolina Panthers. Look, we got AU Link, short call. I do want to press. Look, with very sentimental show tonight. I think it's AU Link.
Hey, C3 family, it's A-Link from Alabama. Hopefully you guys are all doing fine. This Deontae Jackson trade. How do we had to trade a 6 in him for a 5th. That makes no sense. It is what it is. At least we got something for him. But, oh well. I don't think it was worth the trade, but it is what it is. See what you guys think.
All right.
Keep suffering.
Keep suffering. All right. So those are all the calls for tonight. We've been through most of the show. I did set this up, and let me tell you why. We're going to ask AI to fix the Carolina Panthers. One, I think we're going to have to come up with some creative things to do on the show other than just bitch and moan about the same crap over and over. The other thing is today, I teach for a living. I teach history at the collegiate, lower collegiate, junior college, kind of community college. The real essence and beauty of not what I do for a living, but what I study for a living, right? But you know what I study is history is like one of those real it's a humanistic type thing. It's like what makes us kind of different from other entities. And that is that we reflect upon the meaning of our lives and we try to. I don't think there's another entity that I know of that truly reflects about itself, its place in the world. And in history, what you do is you look at the world today by looking at the past and trying to find meaning and value and relevance to the world you live in. One of the best ways so what I think of what I do for a living is to work with young thinkers. They're not saying they're not smart, like young. They're young in their academic careers. And what I'm trying to do, or at least help them with, that's it, coach them, help them, not teach them, but to be curious and wrestle with human issues. And in the process of thinking and wrestling and forming questions and trying to probe at their own humanity, that at the same time they become a little stronger thinkers, a little bit better at articulating their thoughts. And a lot of this, and one of the greatest things that humans have done, is with the innovation of writing and expression of ourselves and our ideas. Now, AI has thrown a complete bonkers nuclear bomb into this. And I would love to talk about this for a long time. But ultimately is that AI is not going anywhere. I know that. But we do have to fundamentally keep our humanity and not subcontract it to machines. And that is, we have to learn the basics of being human before we outsource our humanity to machines. And if we don't, what's going to happen is right now, AI is waiting on us to prompt them like we're going to prompt them. AI doesn't think on its own necessarily.
Yeah.
It thinks in response to the inputs we give it. But if there is a moment where it does think on its own, and particularly imagine this is going to sound wacky, as we get the chip and you say, oh, we'll just put a calculator in your head. We'll just, you don't need to learn kindergarten. You don't need to learn your letters.
Dude, that's what the future holds. And if you remember, Tony, I tried to warn you about this. Because like a year or two ago, you were all aboard the AI train.
I'm fascinated.
Yeah, you were, dude. You said AI is the future. And I'm telling you, like AI is not going anywhere. But also, think about the amount of jobs that it is inevitably going to take away.
Yeah, well, my job is about to be ended.
Well, I'm saying, dude, children's book authors, it's going to be the thing of the past. You're going to have AI be able to write the illustrations, be able to write the stories, be able to do all those things.
Not human, then we have to keep our humanity.
It doesn't matter. That's what's happening, and that is the inevitable outcome. That there are so many jobs that are going to be made so much more convenient by AI. Why would you ever hire a human to do what you can get an AI bot to do in 5 minutes?
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about right now is that we are autonomous entities that are using a tool to help us. What happens when the tool that we created is the autonomous being itself? And if we then become, what if we just become the host? If the AI becomes the more evolutionary advanced joint and you drop it in our brains, you put the chip in, and we're dependent on the machine, and the machine is using us as the vehicle.
Dude,
now
the internet's going to be in your brain in 10 years.
And controlling.
It's going to be projected right behind your eyes. We're all going to live in augmented reality. CK knows I'm right. This is our inevitable future.
Slaves to the machine here. All right. So this is what we're going to do. because I've been wrestling this with academics today and trying to get students to not anyway. I spent a lot of bandwidth on what the meaning of my job, the meaning of academia, and how AI is influencing it in a certain way. So I thought this would be a fun exercise. Let's ask the overlords, the machine overlords, to fix the Carolina Panthers. Now, I went to ChatGPT. I think we're probably using one of the lesser since it's free. All right. So what we did is this. We put in this prompt. In fact, I might just share it so you guys can see it, and I'll read it to you. We're going to try to fix the Carolina Panthers with AI. What if we could replace Dan Morgan, David Tepper, all right now? All right, let's see if I can get this out of here. All right. Let me do a minus. All right, so this is our prompt. We're inputting this exact. Panthers have had 3 coaching changes in 3 years. They've had a losing season every year since their last trip to the playoffs during 2017. There has been an inability to draft quality players for the time frame outside of a couple of star players as well. In an attempt to change their luck at QB position, the Carolina Panthers traded up. I'm going to do this. Traded up, which it would know, to number 1 and drafted Bryce Young, Heisman winner out of Alabama. Though he's billed as the best processor of defenses in the draft, his lack of size and what would say this is I know you're speaking to text. What was this? And
what?
It says delete.
Oh no, lack of elite arm talent.
Elite arm talent hindered his performance through the 2023 season, and he was ultimately benched in only 2 games into the 24 season. I think we need to mention one thing, and we'll do it here. Traded up. The Panthers, what did they give up for him? The Panthers moved from the number 8 spot, right?
I thought number 9.
Okay, and say number 9 to number 1 overall, by giving the Bears a haul of picks and DJ Moore. This was a gamble, but one they believed would pay off. All right. Final part we're inputting. After a turbulent 4 years in coaching changes, the Panthers looked to a former player, Dan Morgan, to become the new general manager and right the sinking ship. Morgan looked to learn the most he could with second year and hopefully franchise player quarterback Bryce Young. Morgan hired Dave Canales, who had no head coaching experience but a reputation for fixing. We're going to put quarterback so it knows a little bit better. Young didn't do well and was benched in week 3. The season continues to spiral negatively because of a defense that could be the worst defense in the history of football. With all this in mind, how do you rebuild the Panthers? Here we go. And we're getting multiple responses. All right. It's going. What if this is like 72 pages? See how far it goes. Cut Lloyd. We're at 4.05. Oh, there's 2 plans.
Ooh.
God, this is a lot. Holy shit. All right. Should we vote for our plan of each one? Should we do both? It's a lot. All right. The Carolina Panthers' path to rebuilding after multiple disappointing seasons, constant coaching turnover, and difficulties at quarterback position involves a few key strategies. of success. Number one, commit to stable leadership structure. By hiring Dan Morgan as GM, they brought in someone familiar with the organization who can provide consistency. All right. Key action, let Morgan build his roster with patience rather than seeking immediate fixes.
Whoa! A mouthful right there, dude.
Right. Sure, he hires a coaching staff that complements his approach to player development. Duh. Smart. Offensive line and quarterback development. We should have said that the offensive line was bolstered. I don't think they know that. Focus on drafting or signing offensive talent and bringing in receivers who can complement Young's skill set. Okay. Again, we didn't give it enough information, maybe. Rebuild the defense from the ground up. Use draft capital to build a defense that can generate pressure on opposing QBs and cover effectively. Also, this just makes sense, period. It's not like it's any keen insight. Right. It's just like, duh. If necessary, focus on high upside free agents who can contribute immediately. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. CK doesn't. Draft strategy and long-term vision. Number 4, scout and draft players with a combination of talent and durability. Duh. Guess what? That's been the problem. Free agency and trades. Be strategic with free agent signings and trades. Focus on adding value players who can grow with the core group. Again, so generic, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right and it's not anything insightful. Culture and team identity. Establish a culture, head coach, GM, align. Patience, realistic expectations. Conclusion, rebuilding the Panthers will take patience, stability, and focused approach to the draft, player development, and coaching. Duh. That's been the fucking problem. By protecting their quarterback, rebuilding their defense, and committing to a long-term plan, they can position themselves for success. All right, let's see what the other one is real quick, and we can vote. You guys can tell me which one you like. Stabilize the front office, empower Dan Morgan, build a collaborative coaching GM relationship, what we've all been asking for. You're going to like this. Resolve the quarterback situation. Number 2 point, evaluate Bryce. It's essential to determine whether Bryce Young can still be a franchise quarterback. Despite his poor start, it might be too soon to give up on him. Give him more time to develop behind a revamped offensive line with better weapons, QB depth and competition. Whether Young is the future or not, the Panthers should bring in a veteran quarterback, can mentor Young, be a reliable stopgap. Revamp the coaching staff. Oh, God. Assess Dave Canales. If he struggles, we might be moving on. Prioritize offensive line and QB coaches. Fix the defense. Sure. Improve draft strategy. Rebuild offensive identity. Player development. Maintain cap flexibility. Foster a strong locker room culture. Patient with the rebuilds. Basically, listen to the C3 Panthers podcast, who's been fucking saying what AI. We just told AI to say what we've been saying.
Yeah.
So by the way, if I had to pick, I'm picking the first prompt.
Yeah, I think so. I think once I saw CK's face when it said revamp the coaching staff. He's like, I'm out on this one.
Yeah, I just don't. All right. I don't know.
That is. But to be honest, is like you could have probably gotten the job as head coach or GM for the Carolina Panthers if you went in with that fucking statement. So go try to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers just by ChatGPT.
You got it.
GPT? Is it PT? I always say
GPT.
Maybe you'll Quillbot it and beat them all. I don't know. All right, that's all I want to do. That's it. Ice up some fools and get the hell out of here.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. The longest running segment in the longest running Panthers podcast.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. It's our birthday, folks. Crazily. Didn't know it until Cody told me. We have just completed our 11th season, I think. 2013. So you go 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Makes us in our 13th. Let me do the math on that. Good Lord.
Pretty insane, man.
Yeah. Been fun. We got to see our brother Greg. Got to see each other. And now we can ice some fools up. It's where we tell someone, toughen up, get it together. It's our homage to Steve Smith. Please show me someone almost dying on the internet, Cody, to make my night better.
You gotta give me a second. I have one that I was looking for. I don't know if I saved it or not.
Okay. CK.
Yeah, I'm gonna just ice up the fact that there has been a bill in the I don't know if it was the Senate or the House of Representatives that has yet to be voted on about getting rid of daylight savings time, and it's been there for like 2 years, and they just have not voted on it. And we're about to go through the fallback portion of daylight savings time, and we're gonna be losing an hour of daylight. So I'm just gonna say, ice up to the government who still refuses to do anything that actually is tangibly helpful to the population of the United States citizens, that all would probably unanimously agree is the dumbest rule that we ever had. Like, we're not,
or antiquated at the very least.
Yes, it's 100% an antiquated, antiquated way of doing things, because we are not an entire country of farmers any longer.
Exactly. And we're not in World War I.
Yes. So I'm icing up the ineptitude of our current government. And who knows, maybe the future government as well. But as of right now, the current government that has had this bill just sitting there, it's passed one of the of those. I can't remember. It's passed either the Senate or the House, and it's just been sitting in the other leg of the government with no movement whatsoever. Not even an attempt to try to actually vote on it. It's literally just sitting there. And so I'm just icing them guys up.
And they put it out for like 10 years. In fact, at one point, CK, they said it was the only bill that was agreed upon by both parties. And then it still doesn't get passed.
It's wild,
crazy.
Dude.
All right.
World we live in.
My ice up pick is going to go to myself tonight.
Ooh.
For not trusting my friend Dan. Dan said this is the Yankees are down 2-0. Game 4 of the World Series. It's a home game. They go into this game and the Dodgers are plus money, which means the Yankees were somehow favored, even though facing sweep, and the Dodgers are just beating that ass. Inning 1, maybe inning 2, it's 2-0. And Dan says, I said, man, this is a sweep. He said, bullshit, shut up. Vegas is not going to lose on money of games 4, 5, and 6. Or 5 and 6. Maybe even 7. I said, bro, no way. This is conspiratorial. But if the Yankees win, I will apologize to you. I didn't say I will ice up myself. I'm send them this. Icing myself up right now because the conspiracy, the wackadoo, the outlandish just might be freaking true. The Yankees somehow won 11-4 tonight. Vegas is going to make more money. Dan, I'm sorry. Tony, ice up.
How many games they got to win? They got to win 3-1.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's like I said this series ain't getting. Then I tried to temper my comments. I was like, this shit ain't going over 5 games. But man, he's right. Dan, I'm sorry. Ice up, Tony.
I had a video, but I can't find it. So I might.
Well, we got a super chat to end the show. Marcel Cooper says, how y'all feel about Prime saying he's not letting his boys come here?
I don't think he said that, right?
I haven't heard it, but I'm all for it.
I did hear him say that he's not like there's a certain few teams that he knows that he doesn't want them to go to. To them, I would respectfully tell them to shut up, dude. Because you know the thing is, like, no, but here's what people aren't realizing. Shedeur Sanders, his son, the quarterback, has no more years of eligibility. He could sit out a whole year, not play any football, and then try and be eligible in the next draft. And there's no guarantee that he would be as high of a draft pick as he is now. So the idea that he could just be like, nah, I don't want to go here, 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 and here. To me, that's just
Cody's young. You didn't see
also,
Eli.
I know about fucking Eli. I know about Mannings. I know about fucking John Elway. I know about all the shit, dude. But also remember, he doesn't have the ability to go play baseball. He doesn't have any more eligibility. He has no more ability to stop where he wants to go than the next person.
Bullshit.
So, and also
Bullshit.
with Travis Hunter, if you want to say that about your son, fine. But there is no reason why he should be telling Travis Hunter to not come to Carolina. And if he is, dude, the Panther fans need to make Deion Sanders public enemy number one. He's a Falcon. Fuck that dude.
All right, fuck that. But I'm here for the drama. Imagine
I'll be on
imagine this
Sanders.
podcast.
That's what you want.
If we're not going to win games, at least can we get that? Can we get the pop, the Deion Sanders bump? All right.
There's Shedeur Sanders. If he's a superstar, and if he looks like the
I know,
next
but if
guy,
he doesn't come here in the trade and we were all involved in that, we would have plenty to talk about despite being 2-15. All right. What's your ice up pick? And let's go.
I don't have one.
You don't have an ice up pick?
I don't
Crazy. All right. Ice on 3. We're going to ice up Cody Lack. 1, 2, 3. Ice up. All right.
Damn.
You're listening to the longest running Panthers podcast, the C3 Panthers podcast. We're here on Tuesday nights after the games. On Friday nights, the Friday free for all is a great place. Our legion, our community is the greatest. Thank you for your time, your energy. Smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe. We're on iTunes. Tune in. Not tune in. Oh, man, I think they still exist. Stitcher doesn't exist anymore. Go to get your podcast. And look, if you listen to it on YouTube, please subscribe on the audio podcast and just download it and listen to it for 3 minutes on 1.5 speed to help our download numbers in a time where no one wants to think about this. Cody Lack, love you. CK, you're the best. Can someone take us out of here?
Love you, boys. Until this Friday at 7 p.m. for the Friday free for all. We'll say until next time, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.